Alright, looks like we're doing a voiceover silent workout today for push. Just warming up with the rear delts a bit. Did some rear delts yesterday, of course, but still, I think for push day, I like just warming everything up nice and slowly, especially since the shoulder is still not at max capacity, and we just want to keep things careful, especially for your shoulders. They are pretty sensitive, more so than your hip joints and all that. You do so much wear and tear on them if you're not careful. Just warming up with rear delts and then neutral grip presses on the cables. We're doing a lot of cable work today. Yeah, just going to be doing the not close grip, just neutral presses, getting everything nice and warm. See, the thing is, when you're doing this sort of stuff, you just want to, get nice and warm, play around, just feel your body, like work out if anything is going to hinder you or not for this workout. I'm actually feeling really good today for it. Thinking about just upping the weight next push session. Today was actually pretty light. You don't want to go super duper heavy duty all the time. Like, mixed up a bit, do a bit of heavy work, do a bit of light work. Today was more so focusing on the just constant mechanical tension, doing a bit of light work, getting a really good pump in the muscle, getting the blood flowing. And yeah, we'll just chill out for a bit and just look at what's going on. One thing you will notice me doing is getting nice and set before the max tension and movement goes. Like, I am easing into the movement and pressing. This is more so just seeing, what kind of heights and angles I'm going for before the working sets. Getting the shoulders nice and loose, warming them up, getting them nice stretch, bit of cracking goes on there. You can see here my left is really flexible and my right is a bit tight still from just the recovery that was the injury. We're getting into the working sets, either this one or next one. Still taking it relatively easy here, just not going maxing out off the bat. Even if you are doing light work, you're not going full max failure reps, because if you're not warming up properly, you will injure yourself. So just playing around with it, going back to the rear delts. Just with my experience at this point, I just warm up what I feel like I need to for my body, and taking extra care, as I really do not want to get injured. I'm still proud to say I have, never been injured in the gym. The most that I've ever done is just having extra DOMs in the lower back from, extra heavier deadlift sessions, that sort of thing, which I haven't done in years. And well, here we go into I think this is a working set now. I'm actually straining and going to pure failure. That's what this program is all about. We are taking things to failure. Even the rest pause kind of work, failure, give it about 10 seconds, go back, get a rep or two out, just getting that max intensity as much as I can. Not all sets are going to be like 100% failure, but we are, pushing the boundaries, pushing the gun a bit. You can see, like, there's so many people at a certain point would just stop and give up. No, you can push your body so much harder than you think. Give it 10 seconds, get your breath back, go for it again. See, like, the amount of times I just stop, look up, take a breath, keep going, feeling the muscle. Right, now here we go. We're not even, we have done a working set, but this is still me making sure my shoulders, my body is a-okay. We're feeling good. We're not getting any tweaks, no niggles, no discomfort. We're actually improving so much, especially with this program, especially backing off the heavier weights, taking everything light, and going for pure muscular tension, giving the joints and tendons a bit of a break, just making sure we are nice and healthy. We are taking this program pretty seriously, changing up exercises somewhat slightly, but the basics are staying the same throughout the whole program. Just a bit of angles, and the incline will change a little bit, the heights, just, it purely depends at this point what I feel like I want to do for the workout. And as long as I'm getting that tension and the angles I need, you can see I'm pushing it a bit here. Close grip neutral grip cable presses, just pure for the chest. And since I can push it at this angle instead of going the normal grip, here we go. We're straining a bit now, working set and pumping out some partials just to get the actual tension there. See, we're not done. We go have a tiny break, get right back into it, keep the tension there, keep the blood in there, get our breath back a tiny bit. We're not getting cardio exhausted, we're just getting muscular exhausted. We want muscular fatigue and tension and failure, not for cardio. We aren't getting out of breath on this. We are not doing so much volume and weight. We are doing just constant tension. Those partials, try them out. Just every set, do a couple partials at the end. If you can't finish the movement, instead of stopping and lowering the rate for a drop set, which I do love doing, you can just take a breath and let your muscle relax for about 10 seconds or so, and then even half a minute and get right back into it. Going for the overhead tricep press. And you don't ever need to put the cable at the bottom. You get it to a height where you're comfortable and where the base of your rep is, and then you just follow through from that. It makes it so much better. You're gonna really avoid any injuries, especially when you have to turn around with the bar, with the rope, whatever handle you're using. This is probably one of the most underrated exercises for tricep ever. Been doing it for a long time. My first 5+ years of training, I only ever did it with a dumbbell, and you get up to some serious weight doing it with a dumbbell, like 40 kilos. Oh, someone's gunning it. You probably heard that. Still, this is a bit of a warm up. Making sure at this point, I know my shoulders are nice and good and all that. Now, more so for my wrists and more so for my elbows. Probably at this angle, it's a slight flare, but you know your own body. I know when my elbows are flared, and then there's the joints that are under pressure, not the muscles. And as far as the weight being lighter, we are avoiding issues like that. So a slight flare is okay as long as you're not pushing the weight where you're uncontrollable. And on this thing with cables, you can just constantly feel where the tension is going. Is it going to your joints or is it going to your muscles? Making sure we get that deep stretch every time, keeping the tension there constant. Even if you want to fully extend, but when you fully extend and it is, when your elbow is fully, when you fully extend, either it's on the leg extension of that, you're on a constant flex position, yes, but the pressure can go to the joints. So even if you stop about 9/10 of the way and then you stop, you're going to have tension following all the way through. Make sure you have a deep stretch at the back behind your head. And these burn your triceps in places you've never felt before. Now we're just moving on to the cable laterals, single arm. These will blow up your shoulders like no tomorrow. I stand by dumbbells doing them like that, as long as you can control and do them properly where you have tension all the way through, not just avoiding tension at the bottom, you're just standing them by your side completely. But with these, you're going to get that full tension and stretch where it's across your body. And you do not ever need to go so heavy on these because you can't. And we are keeping all these movements as nice and smooth and easy as possible. And I still believe always that whatever exercise you're doing, even if you are warm, that first ever set should be nice and easy as a technical warm up, just so you're feeling the movement itself. We are pushing it at this point because we're just feeling that good, but that's not going to be a true failure set. Now we're getting into it now that we are nice and warm. Keeping that flow, keeping that nice smoothness. We're not jerking the weight around. We're not ripping the cables off its pulleys or anything like that. We are keeping a nice, clean, smooth motion. And when you do it actually like this and smart, you will make so much more gains. Just checking the journal now, seeing what I'm up to, seeing the order of things. I did change things up slightly. Was going to do dumbbells first, but I just was like, I'm at the cables anyway, so I might as well stay here and do everything that I need cable wise at this location before moving about. You can think you're as tough as anything. You can think you're as tough as nails. Get on these, do them to failure, and you will be hurting. That's all it about it is. When they say you got no pain, no gain, it is the right kind of pain. Always finishing off with partials at this point, just so I can have that tension there. And just going into not neutral straight press, we are going to incline presses now to get more of that upper chest activation. And we are going crossover as much as we can. And we are here changing up to the single arm crossover for an even deeper, an even stronger contraction crossover. See the little nod, we are feeling good. That was just a nice bit of a warm up. Yeah, when you cross over that much, you are getting so much more contraction into that muscle and blood into that muscle. Instead of just doing two hands and stopping at that point, cross over your body. Look at how your pec activates. It's about the humerus going over your body. Why do you think flies are the best thing for your pecs? And my pecs are probably one of my weaker things because I just grew up not really enjoying chest as much as like anything else, such as legs, back, that sort of thing. Here we go. We're getting gassed. Not even oxygen gas, but just fatigue now at this point is setting in because we're just spamming chest off the bat. Even though we're doing lightweight, is just that much stress onto your pectorals at this point. Going back to both hands and single arm, just want to burn it out at this point. It's the sort of thing on a cart you are so not really, in my opinion, focused on getting stronger at all. You are in a deficit. And of course, you can gain muscle on a cut and lose body fat, whereas you're using that excess body fat you have as energy. So you can get stronger, but it's more so about getting more hypertrophy involved. I'm not concerned about getting, getting too much stronger, just getting better at these movements, getting a pure mind muscle connection. And more so making sure that at this point, I'm more so feeling it right in my chest, in my upper chest. There's a little bit in my front delts, but that's good as well. We are building those back up. Over the course of this, we will be growing the beard and the hair out, so you're looking kind of freaky, especially when you see the pump later on. We are looking juicy. The reason I am doing a voiceover right now is because this was a middle of the day workout. I really needed a dual cable setup. I've been really wanting to pump out these incline neutral grip presses crossover variant, and I just didn't really like having my mic or anything like that at the moment. I just really wanted to feel this workout, have my music on, not focus on explaining myself. I'm just doing that later. Might be a bit of a later upload, but it is what it is. This is still day 13. This is the 13th. It will be uploaded on the 13th for my time. I am in West Australia, so there we go. Pumping out the last of it, and that'll finish off the presses, and we are just feeling it full squeeze now when you tense it after an exercise. Oh, I did forget we're going back for more. Just burning out the muscle. That's what you do. Every now and then, once you're in the sport of your life, you just need to shut everything off, do your workout. I'm still making sure I record it, at least all my working sets, and the workout at this point. Another tricep movement, so we're just purely doing chest and triceps at the moment, going back to a more pure single arm now for one or two sets. Looking just to fully get that chest gassed out. I think after this, I am doing rotation dumbbell flies for chest, and that is it. So I'm making sure I fully get my chest knackered. And when you are doing high intensity, lower volume, for the very few sets you do, you actually want to gas out and go extra hard anyway. Rope tricep push downs now, one of the classics, or one of the all-time favorites and staples. You just get so much good exaggerated movement in there. And the rope is so much more freeing than a standard bar or V grip or anything like that. You get so much more control out of it, and the movement you can fully utilize for whatever biomechanics you have for your body, as you are not in a fixed position. Especially with handles like this instead of the steel handles, there is so much more movement involved. You can fully control it and adjust to it. Making sure we stay hydrated here, just sugar-free cordial, a bit of pink salt in there, just to make sure we're staying hydrated, getting some minerals in. Technically an intra-workout if you're getting minerals, because if you just have filtered water, you're not really getting anything. Otherwise, you can just use sugar-free juice as well, which is excellent, getting extra minerals, vitamins, all that in your body as you work out. You want to keep that pump for as long as you can. You want to keep the pre-workout and the pre-workout meal like flowing as good as you can. You want to reach that peak and ride it. Starting to get it pumped now, so kind of rip the little sweater off. And as you can see, we're looking a bit juicy. The delts are actually getting striated at this point, getting separations. I've always had a kind of shoulder, arm, and leg and back dominant physique. My weak points are my chest and core. Once I get lean enough, that'll be fine. I've actually got pretty big obliques and serratus, but of course, since being shorter as well, any body fat you do have on you will just stack around your midsection, which is a weak point. Instead of being someone tall, your body fat is more than likely distributed evenly. And here we go. One of my favorite of all time is rotation dumbbell flies. It is an excellent move. You just get so much activation in your chest, because that is the key of your pec. Humerus over your chest and body. A bit of a sugar-free solo as I'm voicing over this, doing it all in one take. As you see, I changed my grip up to go on more of the, well, as I first off the rep, it is on the outer side, and then as I rotate in, it's going to be on the inside. I get a much better rotation on that. And here we are, we're looking a bit juicy now. I've got a bit of a pump. Look even bigger than I was 10 kilos heavier, because that is the illusion. So yeah, palm, pinky side palm at the base of that dumbbell. So as you rotate in, you get a much better squeeze at that point. Same as if you're doing it with a curl. That twist motion. You want to twist as much as you possible, making your pinkies essentially try to touch. And yeah, we're just pumping through this movement, keeping it nice and easy and flowy. We've already kind of gassed out, but here we go. And this is an angle that's good. We are looking juicy. Got those cap 3D delts at this point. Triceps are blowing up. One thing I am working on is my forearms, of course. So for the pull days, we are doing, extra fat grips and all that to blow them up. But as far as I'm concerned, like, we're looking pretty good at this point. The cut is going well. Day 13 of the consistent deficit. See, this is how I love doing dumbbell flies. Even at the bottom, when your elbows are bent like that, see, no tension at that point. But when you're bent, your elbows like that, you have tension even at the bottom, and that's why I like doing a sort of flow motion with with any movement I do. And the pump is getting a bit ridiculous at this point. Even starting to get a bit questionable myself. Probably the best shape I've ever been in at this point. And I'm really looking forward to stepping on stage. It'll be the first time I've ever stepped on stage. Of course, I've done my own personal preps before, but nothing as consistent or serious as I am at this point. One of my favorite shots, I love doing that little behind the back, like tricep flex. This is going to do a bicep flex, even though bi pump, but triceps pumped, delts are just popping. Even though I haven't targeted uh, shoulders like heavy at all for a while, you don't need to. You'd be questioning like that I haven't done overhead presses in a very long time. At this point, we're getting towards the end of the workout, so just pumping out the lat raises, finishing off the shoulders, chest and triceps all pretty good and gassed. Like happy with the work done there. So at this point, just finishing off just finishing off the side delts. Bit of front delts in this too, but mainly all I'm wanting is hitting the major like side of my delts, even though there's so many muscles involved in the delts. That's all I want. Holding the dumbbells at the bottom there, so when I'm bent, there is so much tension involved. And that's where you gotta make sure you are pushing it and doing movements properly where you actually feel the tension in the places that you are targeting. There's no point swinging them about, using ego. I think I'm only doing 12.5 to 15 kilos. If I want to overload, I will go up to 20 or so and do somewhat of a cheat motion, but at this point, I just want tension throughout the whole motion. Once there is like downlining involved too, it is a bit juicy, cap delts, that's what you want. They'll start looking even better over the next couple of weeks when we start, getting rid of a bit of water, a bit of extra body fat still to go. But when that reset happens, where I will just dump off that excess water weight and all that from all the salt and sodium, the salt that I've been having, all the water retention. Once all that kind of flushes out in the next couple of weeks and that your body kind of resets, it'll be even more nuts. See, nice, clean, smooth motion. You want tension throughout the whole movement. When you are slightly bent over with your hands at that position of the dumbbell, you have tension even at the bottom. No tension there. See, taking a breather, taking a moment, getting right back into it. Rest pause style. It is nuts. It is crazy. And it works. This is stuff that works for me as well. Obviously, you can make gains in any kind of aspect, but you do what works for you. I've done this for long enough to know what works for my body, and I'm always trying to find new things that do work for me. And we are just like at this point loving the pump, especially getting to the best shape I've kind of been in. Of course, I have been a bit leaner, but never this lean at this kind of size and shape.